Look at that sky pop.
Praise the name of Jesus. Oh, praise the name of Jesus.
Hey! Welcome back to that God Power channel. This is the channel where we're going to unlock the God Power laying dormant on the inside of you. But first today, what we're going to do is we're going to continue breaking down the book of Mark from the Bible, and we're on chapter 7. So, like I said in the last one, we're going to continue and break down this book and complete it before the end of 2020. So we're on chapter 7. Chapter 8 means we'll be halfway done, so that'll be tomorrow. And then I'll just continue to let out videos until we're done with Mark. So let's jump into chapter 7. Chapter 6 was pretty interesting. You should go back and watch it. I'll put the little card at the end of this video. The card for chapter 6 will be there, so you can click on that. But anyways, chapter 7 starts like this. One day, some Pharisees and some teachers of religious law arrived from Jerusalem to see Jesus. They noticed that some of his disciples failed to follow the Jewish ritual of hand washing before eating. And the Jews, especially the Pharisees, do not eat until they've poured water over their cupped hands, as required by the ancient traditions. And similarly, they don't eat anything from the market until they immerse their hands into water. And this is one of many traditions they have clung to, such as their ceremony washing of cups and pitchers and kettles and stuff. So they have a hand washing ceremony similar to, what hand washing is right now. And the Pharisees are wondering, like, how come your people's not washing their hands before they eat? What's that about? I think that's tradition. In our Jewish customs, we follow traditions. So they're asking Jesus, what is that about? So the Pharisees and the teachers of religious law asked him, why don't your disciples follow our age-old tradition? They eat without first performing the hand-washing ceremony. And then Jesus replied, you hypocrites. Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you. He wrote, the people honor me with their lips, but with their hearts are far from me. The worship is a farce. They teach man-made ideas as commandments of God. For you ignore God's law and substitute your own tradition. And then he said, you skillfully sidestep God's law in order to hold on to your own tradition. For instance, Moses gave you this law from God. Honor your father and mother, and anyone who speaks disrespectfully of father and mother must be put to death. But you say it's all right for people to say to their parents, sorry, I can't help you, for I vowed to give to God what I've given to you. In this way, you let them disregard their needy parents, and so you cancel the word of God in order to hand down your own tradition. And this is only one example among many others. And then Jesus called the crowd to come and hear. All of you, listen and try to understand. It is not what goes into your body that defiles you. You're defiled by what comes from your heart. And then Jesus went into the house to get away from the crowd. And his disciples asked him what he meant by the parable that he just used. So pause before he answers. I want to say what I think, and then we'll see what it is. But I think that he was saying, it's not what goes in your mouth that defiles you, it's what comes out your heart. So it's not about the food or like the germs that you're putting in your mouth or your body and stuff like that. It's more so about your heart posture. Are you faithful? Like, do you believe in faith? Are you walking around with optimism? Are you not carrying stress? Is there no guilt that's weighing you down? Like, those kind of things come from the heart. And if your heart is dirty, then I'm sure that the body would be dirty too. So I think that's what he's saying. But let's go ahead and see how he answered the disciples. He was like, don't you understand either? Can't you see that the food you put into your body cannot defile you? Food doesn't go into your heart, but only passes through your stomach and then goes into the sewer. By saying this, he declared that every kind of food is acceptable in God's eyes. And then he added, it is what comes from inside that defiles you. From within, out of a person's heart, comes evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, wickedness, deceit, lustful desires, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All of these vile things come from within. They are what defile you. Then Jesus left Galilee and went north to the region of Tyre. And so he basically answered the question similar to what I believed it was. It's not what goes inside your mouth. It's not what you eat. It's not the things you put into your body. It's the things that come out of your heart that really defile you as a human. And then he just listed everything. So it wasn't like I thought as much as like germs and stuff like that. He's more so saying, well, I mean, kinda, but he wasn't just saying like, "Oh, go be dirty." He was just saying, "Don't worry about what you put. Don't stress on that. More put your focus on what's coming from your heart, what comes from within, and your life will be fulfilled." And so, like I said, Jesus left Galilee and he went north to the region of Tyre. And he didn't want anybody to know which house he was staying in, but he couldn't keep it a secret. Right away, a woman heard about him. She came and fell at his feet, and her little girl was possessed by an evil spirit, and she begged him to cast out the demon from her little daughter. Since she was a Gentile born in Syrian Phoenicia, Jesus told her, "First, I shall feed the children, my own family, the Jews. It isn't right to take the food from the children and throw it to the dogs." And then she replied, "That's true, Lord, but even the dogs under the table are allowed to eat the scraps from the children's plates." And then Jesus was like, "Good answer. Now go home, for the demon has left your daughter." And when she arrived home, she found her little girl lying quietly in bed and the demon was gone. So that was really cool because, again, it shows that this happened because of this woman's faith. It's not because anything else. I mean, Jesus even told her straight up, "I'm going to give these blessings to the Jews first. These are my peoples. I don't even know what y'all got going over there." But she had faith. And because of her faith, the demon just disappeared. And that's dope. So then Jesus left that place, and then he went up to Sidon before going back to the Sea of Galilee in the region of the 10 towns. And there, a deaf man with a speech impediment was brought to him, and the people begged Jesus to lay his hands on a man to heal him. And Jesus led him away from the crowd so that he could be alone with him. He put his fingers into the man's ears, and then spitting on his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed and said, "Ephphatha," which means be open. And I know I probably did not say that word right for anybody who's like a religious study. Put the little dictionary pronunciation in the in the comments if you know how to say that word. Ephphatha, which means be opened. Okay. Instantly, the man could hear perfectly, and his tongue was freed so he could speak plainly. Jesus told the crowd not to tell anyone, but the more he told them not to, the more they spread the news. They were completely amazed and said again, "Everything he does is wonderful. He even makes the deaf hear and gives speech to those who can't speak." And that's the end of chapter 7. So Jesus did a miracle in this place, just like he's been doing miracles everywhere. He made this dude that was deaf be able to hear, and he couldn't even talk, and now he can speak. So the people around this region probably were like, "This is amazing. Who is Jesus? What is he talking about? Where is his power coming from?" And Jesus keeps on preaching about that God power. So I hope you learned something from chapter 7. Thanks for joining me today. Again, we're going to continue to break down this book throughout the rest of this month. So stay tuned in and make sure that you have a beautiful day. Lots of blessings on you and your family. It's getting close to Christmas time. Everybody out there, be safe. I know we got a little bit of stuff going around, but be safe and have faith. You understand? Give to somebody that needs it. It's the season of giving, which every season should be the season of giving. But, give to somebody who needs it. Do something nice for somebody. Say something nice to somebody. Hit up an old friend. Check on your friends. Call your mom. Everything positive, But also remember that you got that God power. I got that God power.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.